Today's episode of TWIMMO is brought to you by Harry's for $5 off. Just make sure to go over to harrys.com and use promo code GAMEBREAKER on the checkout. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week
Game of Thrones
MMO.
intro.
It was like the Game of Thrones intro slash our TWIMMO, thing that I had to do because I didn't have any music here. Obviously, I'm not in the studio today. A little bit different, doing it from home. Got an email this morning that the studio was having some intermittent internet ISP issues. It was going up and down, so I didn't want to chance it. Figured there was no reason to go in there and figure out that we couldn't do a show, so kind of scrambled really quick, got everything set up here at the old house, and we're doing a show old school style from the house. So episode 205 for October 2nd, 2014. Joining me this week, as always, Mr. Troy Blackbird Dupefridge. How are you, sir?
Doing all right. I know this is an MMO show, but I got to say one time, Shadow of Mordor, so good. So
yeah! I actually want to hear a little. You should tell me a little about that on today's show, because I've been hearing mixed things. I have not picked it up. I've been holding off, but I don't know. Maybe you can convince me, sir. Also joining me, I guess he had some construction done and got knocked down a brick wall. If you guys were watching last week's show, you get
I
that
built
joke.
the plane wall.
Built some drywall. I did some drywall over the week. Mr. JKK Kennedy, how are you, sir?
Doing good.
All right, chat room. So we're here. We're talking about. I guess for a couple of things. So not in the studio today. Be back next week. I guess a couple little quick updates about Game Break, the site, what's going on, what are we doing, a couple things we're doing. Getting ready to launch a new website, non-gaming. I don't know why I'm talking about it here, but I think you guys are going to care. I think you guys are going to like it. I like it. Troy likes it. He's having fun.
I enjoy it. I think there's definitely going to be some crossover. I think we talked about this last week. If you're a geek, you're going to be into at least some of the things that this new site's sort of about. So.
Yep. So we've been getting ready for that. Been busy on that. We're just waiting for really the .com to transfer registrars. That's what we're waiting on. They told me it could be 15 days, and I believe we're at about the halfway mark. I'm hoping it is sooner than that, but we shall see. I keep checking every day. We're ready to go. I mean, the site's ready to basically blast off into orbit as soon as that .com is here. So we're just waiting on that. So keep an eye out. Literally the second, I don't care if it hits my inbox that we've got it at like 3 a.m. That bitch is going live. That's all I know.
that Gary again in 3 a.m. launch special.
Gotta do it. So working on that. New show will probably be, well, I shouldn't say probably, will be coming with the new website. Again, non-gaming. We're branching out. We're expanding our reach. We're going to try something a little bit different, and we're moving outside of gaming. What nothing to do with video games whatsoever. But it's been a lot of fun. So we're going to do a new show. Got 2 co-hosts lined up. I don't want to spill the beans yet. I got to hold it back on who they are. One of them you guys already know. One you don't. One of them might be on Convert to Raid. Maybe not.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure that was pretty common knowledge by now that who that person is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so Coltrane from Convert to Raid will be one of my co-hosts, and then we all got another co-host, one that nobody knows, but he's going to be a great addition to the show, and he brings a lot of experience for the subject matter that we're going to be covering on that show. So that should be a lot of fun. With that,
Somebody off camera who adds like sound effects and stuff too while you all are talking. Just have their microphone and add sound effects.
Don't give it away, Justin. Don't give it away. With that, I think we're gonna do. We're toying with the idea of doing some stuff, moving the studio around a little bit. I feel like we need a refresh. I felt like we needed a refresh on shows. That's why you see we dumped a lot of shows. We got TWIMMO still going, but we're gonna get some new shows going, and thinking about doing a refresh and some camera angles and stuff. Maybe give a little new dress up. And actually, Coltrane will be in studio with me, so that's going to be a new thing. So that should be fun. Yeah, it's going to be 2 of us in the same studio. That should be a lot of fun.
So he's going to take Shaftnet's old seat?
No, that's what we're looking at. I want to move it around a bit and kind of reposition some things. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm kind of looking to see how we're going to move some cameras around the studio, and maybe even we're toying with working on some different workflows to actually up the video quality of everything we're doing, even more. So, busy on that. And then I do want to launch another video game show, and I kind of have an idea of what it is, but I got to kind of work out getting it done because it's a little bit more of a process than we've ever done before. But I want to bring back the Game Breaker show, but I want to bring it back a little bit differently. So I don't want to do the same thing. I don't want to do the top like rundown of the website sort of thing. I've got an idea, but I got to launch this other show first, and then we'll get back to this and see what it's all at. So we'll be doing that.
Too many things. Can't keep up with them all.
Always building stuff. We're building stuff for Game Breaker as well. That's gonna take a little while too. That's probably actually gonna get pushed back to the new year. Project Ghost, which I've talked about. It's a little bit on delay, but it's being coded. That's actually some development stuff. It's going to be cool for the website. That actually, when it goes live, I think you guys are going to love it because that's going to be like, it's going to allow everyone to be involved.
Project Ghost, just every time I just think StarCraft Ghost.
I know.
Now you're developing that.
Hopefully we won't cancel it. That's all I know. Hopefully.
No, that's destined to be canceled at this point, isn't it?
What else is going on? So heading over to this has nothing to do with gaming. I'm just gonna start talking about whatever on this show. I'm heading over to AES next week, the audio engineering conference over in Los Angeles. If anybody's gonna be there, tweet at me, yo. I don't know how many of you wouldn't be there, but I'm gonna go check it out. I want to go look at like some of the different things they've got going on there with technology and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be heading over to that, and then the week after that, heading out to Las Vegas for the Final Fantasy Fest. That's coming up, the XIV stuff. So try and put some stuff together.
Visit PAX South in January?
No. Maybe. I don't know. Wait, where's PAX South? What is PAX South? What is that?
It's in Texas.
What?
It's a new one in January.
They're having a new one in January?
Yeah, they got PAX South now.
Is it in Austin?
I think so.
If it's in Austin, you may have just sold me, sir. I may be coming to Austin.
It's in San Antonio.
How far is that from Austin? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's probably really far.
It's a big state.
It's a big
I
state.
don't know, but that's actually reasonable driving distance for me as well. So that opens up possibilities.
Wow, how far is San Antonio from Austin? Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll go to this. Should we do this? Maybe we should do this.
It's 1 hour and 27 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. All right. Okay. Yeah, maybe when is that coming up? What's the date?
End of January.
Oh, wow.
23rd through 25th.
All right. So you may see me there. I might do that one. I don't know. We'll see. And then we got GDC coming up, San Francisco. That one's coming. When you start doing the circuits, like it's almost every other month. There's a con, but Final Fantasy is the next one coming up. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know what to expect from this one. We don't talk enough probably about XIV on this show now that we don't have a show for XIV. But damn, that game is doing phenomenal. I don't know if you guys follow it. I don't know if anybody really on this show is playing actively, but the game is
the numbers in the millions, isn't it? Still,
it's what
in the millions for subscribers.
Yeah, it's doing really well, and I believe I could be wrong, but I believe they're still gaining. Like they're not losing people. I think they're gaining.
That's incredible if that's the way it is, because nothing else, no other MMOs are having that sort of success right now. They're all sort of seeing their height at launch and then just sort of falling off and maintaining from there. So any MMO that shows growth, that's spectacular.
They found their niche, man. They found their audience, and yeah, man, they're knocking it out of the park. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what I'm sure they're probably holding a bunch of cool stuff for the fest because they figure people who are traveling out to Vegas are gonna want to see some cool exclusive stuff. So I can't wait to see what the team's got in store for us. I've been kind of thinking about jumping back in. I've got a buddy who's really hard on MMOs and hates everything. Like in a second.
You have a buddy.
I do.
That's what people say when they're talking about themselves.
No, it's really not me. But he loves it. He says it's the best MMO on the market. That's from somebody who played like WoW for like, I don't know, 8-9 years. He's played every MMO out there. He loves it. Says it's great. The raids are great. Everything they keep adding to the game is great. I gotta get back in there.
I've heard the housing is screwed up messed in Final Fantasy though. The amount that there's available, anyways.
The PvP's probably messed up too, but that's okay.
It's not made for that.
It's not made for that, people. I think everything else supposed to be really good. Yeah, there's a bunch of I'm watching chat room. There's going to be a bunch of Game Breaker Nation people going to the fest as well. So yeah, we should do like some sort of meetup or something, maybe with the GBTV, the GB Nation peeps, and we'll kind of all hang out and see what's going on. So I'm kind of slacking on the planning. But it is coming, and should be a good time. So let's talk about first story of the week. The Chinese company recreates a bootleg physical edition, a physical hard copy of Hearthstone. So
including the cardboard.
Yeah, real cards in your hands like the Magic cards, with the board, the whole nine. I guess this was it is literally an exact with the same rule set before Nax, correct?
Yeah, from what I read, this is absolutely 100% a rip of Hearthstone with no shame because the Chinese do not care. They ain't got time for your fancy copyrights and trademarks.
Well, they even copied the board itself, like with the little things in the corners and everything. They just put it there, like, hey, here we go.
Would you buy this if this was on the market, even though we have the digital version? Would you want something like this?
In some aspects, it would be kind of fun just to play with the physical version over the digital version.
Why is that? Why would we want this if you have the iPad version or the desktop version? Like, what's the point?
As a tabletop gamer, it's a lot of fun to sit across the table from somebody and have that tactile feeling of cards or pieces or things like that in your hand. But in all honesty, when it comes to trading card games like this, I actually prefer the digital versions of them because it's easy to update. They don't have to take entire waves of the game out because they become unbalanced due to power creep or whatever. In the digital version, they can just adjust all those numbers and make sure everything works the way it should. So gameplay-wise for TCG, I prefer the digital, but there's definitely something about sitting at a table across from your buddy with pieces in your hand.
You're so old school.
You just
I don't know if it's so much would be. I don't think it would be done as like a regular thing. I almost see it like you've got a bunch of friends who come over and it's like pulling out apples to apples to play a quick game of. Like you pull out Hearthstone and split the cards up with each other and then see how it goes.
This is not a question Blizzard wants answered, but are you able to get this thing shipped to the U.S.?
I don't know. I didn't check that.
I don't know that there's an easy means right now, but I'm sure some way, somehow, there's.
It's
if it's
also
not right
not
now,
in
eventually
English.
there's going to be a PDF or something out there.
Well, that's true. I should note that you're looking at the cards here. None of it is in English, so it's going to be pretty hard to play. Well, there you go. Damn Chinese ruining it for everybody. Just, got to knock it off, sell it. Who knows? You think Blizzard will go? I mean, I don't know how big this is, how widespread this is, how readily available this is in China. I mean, I don't know how many, is this like you can go to your local store and pick this up like we can like a board game here at Target? I wonder how, how much attention Blizzard is going to pay, how much attention they're actually going to go. Are they going to go after these guys, do you think? Have they said anything? Probably not.
They apparently paid enough attention actually to give Polygon a quote on this. Jason Hayes, the production director, said that's something we've talked about internally. It's not something we're going to have for a launch, but there's always a possibility in the future, and that was in regards to having their own physical version.
Then they got to go after them, right? Can you go? Is it possible to
I don't
even?
think you can.
You can't even go after them, right? Like, there's nothing you can do. There's nowhere you can go.
That's why China gets away with this so often, or manufacturers in China. Let me not say China, but people in China, they get away with this because there's no recourse. There's no legal recourse to go after them over there.
The WoW theme park over there too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How about,
at some point.
What was that other story? The World of Warcraft McDonald's that opened up? Was that? I mean, that had to be all. That's all legit with Blizzard backing, correct?
I don't know.
Now that you mentioned that, I never saw anything that specifically said that was officially Blizzard done.
As long as they don't serve a black cheeseburger.
Oh, that could you eat that? Would you eat that if you said?
No,
I can't even look at it.
You couldn't even look at it, right?
it
was
looks like
disgusting.
mold. That's enough. Yes.
It was tar.
Let me see if I can find this. The black cheeseburger. I don't know if people have seen this thing. It's pretty disgusting. They have it. Is that in China? Is that where that is? Oh, it's in Japan. Japan. Yeah, Japan rolled out a black cheeseburger, including black cheese, which is definitely the most disgusting aspect of it. Like, it's probably just. it just looks like plastic.
It looks the looks alone are enough that I would probably never put it in my mouth. I would never even give it a chance because it looks terrible. Like green ketchup. You see how long that lasted.
Why would they show a picture of the cheese like that?
Come on, Justin, you're not high and hungry? Come on, it's dinner time.
Black cheeseburger.
Could you deal? I could probably deal. I don't know. I could probably deal with the black bun.
Maybe the black bun, because that's just like a straight up like food coloring of the bun, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they do with it.
No,
They use like squid ink for the cheese or something.
Yeah, I think I read squid ink. Yeah, exactly. It just there's no part of that you could take any of that off and none of it still looks appetizing. You just know. Just no.
No, thank you, Japan. Keep that to your damn self.
You keep that over there.
Done. All right. Really quick, I want to take a quick break and talk about our sponsors to keep this show rolling. I want to thank Harry's.com for sponsoring this episode of This Week in MMO. So happy to have Harry's on. I'm like an every other day, maybe every third day shaver. And I shaved yesterday with the Harry's. Actually, I got a little bit of growth. But man, I don't know if you guys suffer from this, but so I've gone from as a youngin', I had those cheap plastic ones you throw away. Those things are terrible. Please don't use those ever. They just tear your face up. Then I've had like nice, expensive straight razor kind of ones that again, I get like all this crazy razor burn underneath my chin here, and it gets really gnarly and hot, and I cut myself and nick myself. And then for a long time, I went to a buzzer because I get such bad razor burn. I actually went to a buzzer with a clip on it, and just and then nothing touches really my face, and I didn't have to actually shave. And then Harry sent me over this kit, and I started using it, and holy it's great. I love it. I mean, it's just I don't have any nicks, zero cuts, nothing at all. And it's fantastic. I don't know if it's the shaving cream, it's the blade. I think it's the whole combination. I think it's the whole package. I love it. Hats off to Harry's. They got really great manufacturing. There's a lot of good, cool information on the website too about how they manufacture this stuff. I was checking it out, and we've got a $5 promo code. All you got to do is go on over. So what they do, they sell a couple different kits, depending on what you're looking for. I've got the Winston set myself, right? That's the Truman. I've got the Winston. It's $25. It's basically the same kit with a different handle. If you want the chrome handle, it's the Winston. The Truman's really nice too. $15 comes in like 4 different colors. You can get it in blue, you can get it in white, green, or orange. Comes with a foaming shave gel, which I think is part of the secret. I think part of the secret of not getting nicked up and razor burn is like it's the shaving gel with how good of quality these razors actually are. Because razors are not all created equal. I can tell you that. German engineering. That's pretty much why, right there. Can pretty much guarantee it's German engineering. Check it out. So go on over, save yourself $5. All you gotta do is use promo code GameBreaker on the checkout. You're instantly gonna save $5, and definitely pick up a kit because start with the kit, and then you get on a program there where you tell them how often you actually shave, and then they send you blades in the mail, depending on if you're an everyday, if you're an every other day, or anything in between. They've got a plan for you, and it's awesome because you don't even have to think about going to pick up your blades, and you don't run out, and it's all good stuff. So save $5. Get just use promo code GameBreaker. All right, next up, dogs are getting annoyed. Like, why are you home?
They want to be shaved too.
I don't know that worked too well on them.
It's like the old days. The old people, old TWIMMO peeps remember the dogs barking. It'd probably make the house fun. Probably like the house better. So just like, what random craziness is going to happen at the house?
So, I did a TWIMMO with Burn one time. And the cat jumped up on the back of my chair, and people were like, "Ah, the cat! That's awesome! Get off the camera, and let the cat star."
The cat's more of a star than everybody. World of Warships. You know we're big fans of World of Tanks, World of Warplanes. I love the wargaming.nets. Actually, before I should get into this, did we tell people you get free stuff? We're giving away free World of Tanks stuff this week. Like I think you got about another 2 weeks left. Limited time. me pull this up here for you before I get into the story, because the World of Warships is coming. But we've got free stuff in World of Tanks.
If you want to try World of Tanks, which, by the way, is absolutely worth downloading for free and trying because it's a ton of fun, you might as well get some free stuff, too.
Yes. Put that away. Go over to Game Breaker. It's on the front page right now. It'll probably still be up there, when you're watching this. But the 9.3 update's coming, and also what you really want to know is go sign up, make an account, and when you get to this little thinger here, and there's an invite code, it asks for an invite code. Just put in GBTV. And you're going to get a bunch of free stuff. So you get 3 days of premium, you get 500 gold, you get a new tank slot, and a T2LT premium tank. So bunch of free stuff just by using GBTV as your sign up. So obviously we're huge fans of the World of Tanks. So World of Warplanes is coming. Not Warplanes.
Warships.
There's so many of them. Planes already.
The Warships one sounds interesting though.
Yeah, the Warships one is the one that I've been waiting on probably most anxiously. This sounds super exciting. I'm like a lot of fun.
So what are you guys mostly looking forward to? I mean, I can tell you, I've already seen it. I haven't had hands-on gameplay with it, but I've seen it being played, and it looks like it's a ton of fun.
Just the different types itself. I mean, first off, you're blowing up ships. So the planes is fun, but the planes are a lot of one-on-one combat, I feel like you see, or you just see other combat in the distance, or you just get crushed. But with the ships and things, like if you're all on the sea, you got a huge fight going around you, trying to get around people and stuff. It's sort of like mixes in that fast pace with some of the ships and that slow pace. It's almost like a middle ground between the tanks and planes.
And naval combat is a whole nother animal from tanks on the ground or especially planes in the sky. There's a depth of strategy to naval combat that can't be touched in any other version of this. There's a lot of being in the right place and knowing how you got to move and where you got to move, and your ships move so much differently than a tank or a plane does. And with all the different types of ships and stuff, it's going to be, I'm just interested to see. Of course, it's not going to be uber realistic. They're not going for super realism. They flat out said that. They're going to make sure that the gameplay is fun. But still, that being said, naval combat is just a whole nother animal from everything else. And like I said, there's a lot more strategy to naval combat most of the time. And I'm a big strategy guy. I love strategy games. And I'm really looking forward to kind of that aspect of it going in.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might think that, ships, they kind of are slow. The combat's going to feel, maybe the gameplay is going to be a bit slow. And it's not. Because from what I've seen of it, and I've watched them play it behind closed doors, I think it was the last E3 was the last time I actually got to check it out. And like you said, it's not a simulator, right? They're not going for a sim. They're going for some really exciting, fun gameplay. So it's played a little bit differently than you would think. It's not a very slow game. It's pretty action-packed, and there's a lot going on. You have to make, there is sort of that strategy sort of mentality about how you're moving your ships in, and you're maneuvering around certain things and where other opponents might be coming. And you can see on the screen now you've got destroyers and torpedoes and battleships, and there's going to be a lot going on. And what's really cool is this is such a genre that is so neglected, right? What other, I can't think of any other game that even remotely how many battleship games do we actually get?
The only one I can think of is Leviathan Warships, and it's nothing like what Warships is going to be. Leviathan's way more arcadey and turn-based.
So there's that mobile game that came out a while ago. I remember it. You took your ship on.
But nothing seems to be on the level of what wargaming is doing. I mean, these guys are dedicated to creating war games, and there's not many game developers that are that dedicated just to this genre of creating war games. So we know we've got battleships. There's going to be destroyers and cruisers. So they'll all have their pluses and their and their weaknesses. Battleships will be weak to torpedoes, but they're full on of heavy artillery, and they'll have really good armor and things like that. Destroyers, they're going to be a little bit lighter. Easy to maneuver, things like that. Cruisers, definitely the most versatile, going to be able to move around with a lot of speed and things like that. But of course, you're going to have things like weak armor. You're going to get you're just going to have to watch out and not get blown up, hopefully with your speed. And then how about aircraft carriers, huh? We're looking at them right.
So yeah, I was wondering on the aircraft carriers, and I didn't get a chance to read up specifically on that one. If those are the planes just automated NPCs and stuff, or Do you take control of
That's
that as a
my
player?
question. Are you actually carrying like World of Warplanes players
I don't
on your
believe
carrier,
so.
or is it just sort of you push a button and they go out?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't
I
think it's
think-
actual World of Warplane players.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I think it's more of a strategy, scenario of, sending out your troops kind of thing to go and attack. So
Yeah, fighters, dive bombers, torpedo bombers, and scouts. So yeah, I think it's more of a just send out. It's your tactical strategy of who you send out and what info they give back or what damage they might wreak.
yeah, I did not get to see anything that had to do with aircraft carriers when I got to see it live, and that's a cool addition. I'm not even totally sure if they spoke about that back then, but that seems like a really cool addition. So
That's the one that grabs my attention. That's the first one I want to try as an aircraft carrier, like that big baddie where I'm sitting way back here and nuking you from way over there with my planes and stuff. Yeah, sign daddy up for that.
So there any word on when this might get released or go into alpha? I mean, they released this 4-minute video, which is pretty interesting that they're putting this out into the world.
I haven't seen any dates as far as alphas, betas, anything like that. So
Yeah, what I'm more interested in, like, I want to play this, but now that they've got all three coming out, I wonder how much longer before we actually have a combination gameplay.
So I've asked them that question multiple times, and I think players you're going to be waiting quite a long time. I mean, they're actively like trying to work on that to some extent to understand how the different systems and games could speak to each other. But I think right now the answer I've gotten all the time is that, look, we're really focused right now. The dev teams are focused on making these three games great on their own. Yes, of course, the dream is pull all of this into one place in one world. But hey, we're a little ways off from that. So I wouldn't expect that Warships gets released and like 6 months later everything is just tied together. I don't think they're developing the games in that sort of fashion. But that is the ultimate goal. It's been their ultimate goal since day one, was to release these different ground, air, sea games and then bring them into a world. So I think we'll see it. I just don't think it's going to be that.
And it's too bad the perfect name for it's already taken, World of Warcraft.
Oh, stop. Next up this week, this one's a really interesting one. So there's an indie game. Is it? How do we say this?
Cordial Minuet, I think.
The worst name ever. This is the worst. This might be the
Minuet.
worst.
if you have to stop and think about how you're going to say it,
I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna
they
tell
may
people
wanna
what it's called. How
reconsider
about that? How about we just don't? We'll say some indie MMO is going to pay winners. I don't know. I guess there's a winner. You have to break this down for me. But pay winners. How do you win?
You actually have to pay yourself. You could lose the money.
It's like Scientology or something. Like, what are we talking about here?
You're literally betting on your chance of winning.
Okay. So the game that nobody will ever be able to pronounce, that I won't tell you what is, a mystery game, will pay winners with real money. So what do we know? It's going to be occult themed because those do so well.
Yeah, I don't know why the theme's there. I think this game could have done a lot better without the occult theme here and reached a broader audience.
They should have just started with, like, I don't know, upskirt shots.
Do occult lovers have a whole bunch of money or something that I don't know about?
No idea.
Are they rich? Because this guy's talking about the $999 million.
$999 million.
So he must know some rich occult people that plan to play.
Currently in development by Passage.
if
Developer
you're going to
Jason
dream
Rohrer.
big.
Manu combines occult themes, multiplayer, and real-world money. It's a numbers game, so pitting two players against each other in a game of strategy and risk. A game costs as little as $2 with a $999 million maximum, but the bets per hand can reach to $10 million. The winner gets the money minus a fee but with the exchange of money, how does the whatever this game is called not run into issues? Blah blah blah. This will never see the light of day, and I should just move on.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, how is this not fall under gambling and get shut down?
Though
quickly?
they do explain how it doesn't fall under gambling. Apparently, they designed the game to where there isn't any RNG. There's no RNG
no
to the
random
game.
element to it. The winner takes home a purse. Period.
Yeah. Well, there's no RNG in the chance of winning, unlike cards and stuff where you have the RNG of getting a card, what card you get.
But I don't know. I think other
straightforward-
companies have tried to do that with skill-based gaming, and it doesn't matter. It's still not legal until they get all the laws going. I mean, once they're starting to legalize gambling more and more state by state, so maybe they could get away with it. But even without an RNG element, like why do you think we haven't really seen like skill-based games more, online with the U.S.? I mean, you think people wouldn't be playing? I mean, I don't know, Counter-Strike.
There would be people that could probably make a living like that. There's some people who are really good at that kind of stuff. So if it was out there, there would already be. And like you said, if it was legal, which it's sounding like it's not going to be, but. Hey, we'll see what happens. I'm not a gambler. Nothing about this sounds interesting to me. I'm not interested in putting my money into anything and then maybe or maybe not get it back. Gambling's never appealed to me in any shape, form, or fashion.
I think if it wasn't a cult, I would probably take this a bit more serious as a possibility.
Well, they should have just ripped off Hearthstone because everybody else is doing it.
Because that's not RNG.
Yeah.
All right, next story. World of Warcraft is aiming to get competitive and get big on esports. Here we go, kids. Here we go.
Another MMO says they're going to make a push towards esports.
There you go. So, head of Blizzard's esports, Kim Fan, talks about how WoW PvP was fun, but it was very difficult to watch. So, guess what's coming, people? Spectator mode coming to Draenor. People have been asking
finally, right?
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, now that it's here,
years.
I don't know. I mean, do you think this is going to be a big thing? I mean, they never wanted to do this when people were freaking out about it. Now I feel like people aren't even asking for it, and now all of a sudden it's here.
Yeah, like this was like 2 years ago. Everybody was like, "Oh man, let's put MMO PvP in esports," and now nobody seems to give a damn anymore. And now they're like, "Okay, well, we're going to do it now." Spectator mode in the PvP. So I don't know. I'm going to watch, just to see what it's like, but I don't know.
Maybe they're testing out ideas for Titan. Oh wait.
Maybe this came from Titan. Maybe Titan was going to be spectator mode. It was it was one thing made of a million other ideas. It might as well have had spectator mode in it too.
So what exactly is happening? I believe it's is it this Sunday? There's going to be an event around this.
Yeah, there's some sort of PvP championships going on starting Sunday. 10 a.m.-ish. Does that sound right?
Is it the regional qualifier or something like that? I think it's for whoever is going to be participating at the BlizzCon to determine who's going to be competing at that. I think that's what this Sunday's for.
I'd love to know what the community thinks. Hey, you guys, leave a comment below on this episode and let me know if you are excited and ready for Warlords of Draenor spectator mode.
So what's more interesting about this isn't the PvP side of things. It's what they actually go in further, that they might take upon this idea and go differently. And there was a quote on it saying that they've looked at Battlegrounds, but people enjoy watching live raids at BlizzCon. So they might actually start creating like a live raid competition series.
A spectator mode and raids. Now that I can get into.
Which I think we know somebody who might want to do that who works at Blizzard.
That'd be kind of, I mean, that makes that does make it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, and that would be unique too. That's different than than the PvP thing. There's lots of PvP to watch, esports wise. A live raid and it's some form of competition, whether it be time or score, something thrown in there to make it some sort of competition, or maybe you just like watching live raids. I know I probably would. That would be pretty cool. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like maybe if the spectator client is able to get in a game and you can watch your favorite raiders actually get in and play and stuff, or if they even figure out technology to create more random raids, if they can somehow create like a random generator for raids, they just increase their game's playability on the raid end.
Now Justin's like redesigning the game, and he's like, "There's a random raid generator for the spectator mode."
This is the part of the 10 expansions they have coming over the next 10 years or whatever it is.
Don't hold your breath. All right, next story, one that our buddy Noob Fridge here is going to be excited about. But Elder Scrolls Online has their first ever guild summit. So 20 guilds and online communities were invited over to the ZeniMax Studios. What they show off? So you got to see like an Imperial City, a new PvE zone, and some PvE stuff.
Yeah, there's like a new Imperial City. Something about it's in a PvE zone, but everybody in it's flagged PvP or something. I'm not sure exactly what that is or how that works. I know I'm a Care Bear, so I'm going to be steering clear of that. I don't want no part of that. But they're talking lots of things that sort of, since the game has been out, those of us who still stuck with the game and enjoy it a lot, kind of ideas and things that we would like to see going into the future. And this Guild Summit, I mean, they're sitting down with a lot of folks and talking and sort of trying to hash out, the details of, well, how would you guys feel about this and that? And they're talking combat responsiveness. They're talking about the new champion system. They're talking about tweaks to the way combat works in PvP and PvE. I mean, there's so many things, and everything that they touch on at this Guild Summit so far has been something that the community, at least a large portion of the community, at some point have said, this game would really be better if this, and this happened. And then they're at this Guild Summit, and they're like, well, we've got plans for doing, those things, but we want to talk to you guys and figure out exactly how it is that you guys kind of see this kind of happening, and then weigh that against how, the way that it's feasibly possible for us to make that happen in game. It sounds like there's a lot of really awesome stuff coming for the game, especially if you're still in the game and you're enjoying it, and maybe some stuff that'll bring some folks back who've kind of stepped away from it.
What is the state of the game right now? How would you describe the health of ESO right now?
I'd say it's definitely, I would consider it somewhat low. I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's dying either. I think the player base that is in there now, it feels pretty loyal to it. The folks who are there are gonna stick with it and looking forward to sort of what it is now. But in all honesty, I feel like it's sort of setting idle right now. They've got updates coming and new Craglorn and stuff, but some of these systems that they're talking about bringing in and adding into the game is stuff that I feel like the game really, really needs to become interesting again. And probably some of the stuff that some of the things should have been in there from the beginning. The veteran rank system, in particular, it was not ideal getting into it, and the way they're talking about doing the champion system sounds a lot better, and sounds like how it should have been sort of from the beginning. And it just, those types of things, the game just feels kind of idle right now. But you really do get the feeling that, especially with this happening right now, this Guild Council meeting, that they are working towards making the improvements that are really going to make this game shine in the next 4 to 6 months, probably.
Well, that makes me like, I don't know who knocked who over the head at ZeniMax, but the fact they even had this Guild Summit is just an indicator of something different that we didn't see before. A company who came to this game with like zero proper PR ways, no communication with anybody. Suddenly they've got 20 guilds and fan sites and stuff invited to this event that they're discussing stuff and showing off things. Like, this is a complete 180 from how they originally brought up their game in development and stuff. So I don't know, maybe they're getting their act together, and maybe they found that they've got their niche group of players right now that are strong people who are staying there, and they're going to use them to help benefit their game and maybe make it better. It looks like animations are even being improved and stuff like that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, combat responsiveness, animations, lots of little granular things, as well as some big, sweeping changes as well. There's a ton of stuff. There's 2 pages right here that I'm looking at that we could probably spend about 4 hours talking about and getting into. There's just so much stuff, and just the fact that they're willing to sit down and say, this isn't the best it could be. Let's see what other people think and make some adjustments.
I don't want to do 4 hours on it, but for somebody who maybe played the game at the beginning like myself, kind of weaned off of it, stopped playing like midway through, what is in the big list that's really going to get me back in there? Like, I don't really care so much about like just ranking systems and leaderboard things. Like, I'm talking about like what kind of content. I mean, I don't know what players
the big thing I see is spell crafting. I really want that in and see what that's like, to be able to like craft your own types of spells and things. And that's one of the new systems they're talking about, is spell crafting and mount racing. I don't know what mount racing is.
Yeah, spellcrafting they've been talking about basically from the beginning. Of course, we haven't seen it yet, and we haven't gotten a lot of details on exactly what it's going to be and how it's going to be implemented. But I think that would, like Justin's interested in it. A lot of people would be interested in seeing kind of what all that involves and sort of creating your own spells and meshing spells together. And what was it, Oblivion that had spellcrafting in it, I think. So if there's bound to be some sort of similarities to that. Probably if you initially played and you initially got turned off, probably one of your biggest problems were bugs, the quest bugs and things like that. A lot of that stuff's been ironed out over time, but we've already seen improvements to the combat. We've seen improvements to responsiveness of abilities already.
They fixed that archer yet? They fixed that bow?
Mm-hmm. We've seen pretty drastic improvements to the
invisible arrow,
weapon swapping abilities, and they're going to keep improving animations and things like that. They're really trying to focus a lot on the combat is one of the big things they're trying to focus on and improve. Animations, responsiveness, the weapon swapping they've already addressed somewhat. And there's an issue with blocking and be able to do 100% damage abilities while blocking at the same time. They haven't said how they're going to fix that, but I think today, in the second day of the summit, they said, yeah, we need to do something about that.
How are they doing anything story-wise to really progress the story and bring players back in to continue on with the journey?
I think they talked some lore today. I didn't get a chance to read a whole lot of it because, of course, I don't wake up till.
But I feel like that's it might correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's an important aspect for Elder Scrolls fans. Is send me on the journey. So like when the spell crafting and things like that, really cool stuff. Cool, want to check that out. But at the same time, I need that kind of melded with I'm going to progress farther into this sort of world, and where am I going to explore and see?
Yeah, especially up to level 50, there's sort of an overarching story that was at least interesting to me. I think a few others found it interesting. But after you kind of finish that, you get into the veteran rank stuff, and you're back to just the stories that are in the quests. Mm-hmm. And there's some good stories there, but there's no, even into the Craglorn areas, there's no real, there's not a lot of meat to the lore of Craglorn and what's going on and all the raids and stuff you're doing. It's just sort of there. It's just content to do. It doesn't feel like there's like you said, story-wise, it doesn't feel like my character has a reason to be there. It feels more like I'm just doing it because this is what there's to do in the game. So it'd definitely be a lot more fun to get some of that kicked in. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they talked about that at some point today. I just don't know what all exactly they said about it.
Well, Elder Scrolls players, definitely go check that out. Go check out what they're doing. Some interesting stuff over on the ESO, so that's coming soon. I want to talk about the crew and a bunch of other stuff. But first, I want to take a quick moment to talk about our sponsor of this portion of the show, and that is Audible. If you guys have not checked out Audible, I want to hook you up with a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook just by going to the URL www.gboffer.com/Audible. That's where you want to go. Go to gboffer.com/Audible, sign up, make an account, and just for using that URL, you're going to get a free audio book. And we all know it's coming. We got BlizzCon coming. You got Warlords of Draenor coming. So right now is a perfect time to catch up on the World of Warcraft lore. And Audible's got a bunch of the World of Warcraft novels. I would suggest almost all of these are great. I'm just going to list some Dawn of Aspects today. Let's check this out.
To best the bronze aspect in the realm of time. When he first returned from the Time Ways, Tick continued hesitantly. He recounted what he saw. No matter where he and the others attempted to journey in history, they always emerged at the same point in the future.
He turned the corner, and a raging chihuahua leapt from the darkness. Check it out. Go on over to gboffer.com/Audible today. Sign up, get a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. You can pick up any of the World of Warcraft books as one of your free books, or any of the other tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. I think they have over 100,000 books easily.
No matter what you're into, there's something there.
There is something.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for another series, the Iron Druid Chronicles are amazing. They just came out with a new book last month on there.
Wait, what is this? This sounds interesting. The Iron
Druid Chronicles. It actually has my all-time favorite character, who is a secondary character, the dog named Oberon.
There you go, the dog.
He's an awesome character. He talks and he's hilarious. But yeah, the Iron Druid Chronicles is amazing. He's got your fantasy kind of thing in it, but in a modern world setting with gods of all different pantheons in it and things. So
here it is, book 1, clocking in at 8 hours and 11 minutes of the Iron Druid Chronicles. I think I'm going to pick this up. This looks kind of good. This looks good.
You just added that to my list as well. Thanks, Justin.
Seriously.
I've already got a backlog. It's starting to look like my Steam library.
I am definitely going to pick that up. Check it out. All right, go over gboffer.com/audible, and we thank them so much for sponsoring This Week in MMO. They keep us running. So support Gamebreaker by supporting our sponsor, Audible. All right, so next up, let's talk about The Crew. This is a game both of you have been gaga over. The Crew, which is the
card. Wait another month before we can buy it.
Yes.
I know. They need to come on with it. I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
The Crew, which is the car PG, the MMO car PG that they're calling it, where you're going to race around. It's an MMO based around racing your car. They showcased some Endgame content. So this is something I think a lot of people have been wondering about. So what are they showing off here? They've got faction wars with different takes on like challenges and things like that. What does that all mean? What are we really going to do at Endgame in a car racing MMO?
Essentially, you're going to join one of 5 factions, and you have the ability to switch between those factions if you don't like the one you're in. But of course, it's going to diminish some of the rewards you get for that month. But you can go out as a part of your faction. There's going to be missions where you can do solo things, or you can do, co-op things, or like I think they said up to 4v4, like PvP races and events and stuff.
PvP races? What? PvP what races. Does that mean?
I don't know. I guess it means it's a headhunt.
Well, it probably. I mean,
I don't even know. I have no idea what it is, but it sounds. PvP racing sounds awesome. Is it like we're gonna be like knocking people off and try and take them out?
That's one of the game. That's one of the race types in game types.
That's one of the missions you get is to take people out. Like, yeah, absolutely. So yes, like a giant demolition derby. Yes, please give me that.
That would be awesome.
So you choose one of the 5 now.
Just for that.
Are you choosing your faction basically at Endgame? Is that part of Endgame? Like you do not get to do this until you reach max level?
It was my understanding from what I read that you could actually choose a faction before you hit level 50, but a lot of the missions and stuff where you sort of get the benefits and the rewards and stuff were sort of, max level 50 kind of things.
Yeah, Carbine won't be that great to do much anyways at that stuff.
Yeah, even in just like some of the starting missions and stuff in your starter cars, like you can't even get like there are certain missions like different skill challenges. You don't have a chance of getting gold in a starter car. You're just not fast enough, or you don't stick to the pavement enough. So, but once you get to level 50, I mean, there's plenty of stuff to do. All these missions, they can be co-op, they can be solo, and at the end of the month, you get tallied up and you get rewards based on how much you contributed to your faction's dominance over the other 4 factions. And there's stuff like exclusive cars available through this faction system. So, there's your quote-unquote raid gear, special cars that you can get just by doing the faction stuff. So there's you something to work towards every month and build up and try to get those cars and platinum equipment, pieces for your car, engines, wheels, all the customizable stuff. There's special stuff for that too.
I do have to wonder how repeatable this is. I hope they have enough different types. They say PvP events. They didn't specifically say a type of race, so maybe they've got a whole bunch of different crazy ideas to put out there, which would be awesome if they do.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. It's not just like there's one 4v4 PvP. I'm hoping, like you said, there's several different things that are sort of PvP-ish when you go in and either race or try to take each other out. Give me a demolition derby. I ain't gonna be mad at you.
Both of you are extremely excited about the game. You're both going to be playing, it sounds like.
Yeah.
How do you guys view, like, so coming from an MMO perspective where like most of these worlds and these games, like MMO players want to like live and hang out in all the time, do you foresee yourselves like playing a game like this, or is it like a little bit more of a casual thing, jump in, play once in a while? Like you're not really maybe looking to like be a part of the world, as it's more of, hey, I like racing games, I like MMOs, and this is going to be a cool meld of the two.
It's more, for me, it was more of a, there was plenty of world, you could go out and explore, but I never felt like I was or could live in the world, like I was a character so much in the world. I mean, I've got a character and it's a storyline, but it's the same character and storyline everybody else has got. So for me, it was more just this is a lot of fun. I enjoy just exploring the map, doing the skill challenges and stuff, just kind of jump in and play for a little while and then jump back out. I don't really feel like I'm going to quote unquote live in this world for just days at a time and not bathe.
And I'll probably do like the solo stuff casually, but like if I've got a group of people to jump in there with more often, I think that's where it's going to actually be fun. Is you and your crew actually driving around and doing stuff. I just feel like that'd be, I mean, and just like any MMO game, if you got a group of people to play with,
Yep,
you're going to play more
fun with people.
I mean, so in this case, I feel like as on the solo side, I'll play that occasionally. But if I got a group of people to play with, I'll probably jump in a lot more if we're all jumping in.
Now, something a lot of people who may be just hearing about the crew for the first time, they're going to be wondering, is it sub-based?
I don't think so.
It's by the box. It's by the box, and then there's going to be a cash shop, DLC, that kind of stuff. But you buy it once. There's no monthly sub. And by the way, we have a deal over on Gamebreaker. Do not pay full price, and just go ahead and buy it. Just buy it. Just trust
pick
me.
it up.
Just get it.
Yep.
Save money. Don't pay full price. Get it on Gamebreaker, but just buy it.
What's our current
You're
deal
gonna
right now? I'm
enjoy
not sure. I don't know what the current deal is. Go over to gamebreaker.tv/deals. I think you can get $12 back in GMG credit right now or something like that. It could, I don't know. Go check it out. But it's over on gamebreaker.tv/deals. Don't pay full price, or at least get some credit back on this, because it's definitely rocking and rolling. Yeah, it's. I think a lot of people are really excited about it because it kind of breaks the mold a little bit. And we've seen some other MMO with cars, but this one looks a lot of fun. All right, so next,
this is heads above anything else I played. So
let's talk about Skyforge a little bit. So Skyforge plans to be a game for every single type of player, and that scares me already. But
yeah, sounds like a terrible idea.
what do you guys make of Skyforge? What?
It's being co-developed by the Allods team, or Alloids, or however you say that.
I think
is.
it's Allods. Yeah,
that free-to-play MMO. That I think apparently did pretty well at first, but ended up not doing so well.
Yeah, they had some cash shop issues and things like that.
Pay-to-win issues.
Yeah, and that turned a lot of people off really, really quick, and they've never really recovered from that.
Well, we don't know a whole lot about the game, but what we do, it's a free-to-play game. It's got a built-in social network. I don't know, central area for players are going to meet up, group up, and go out and play. Sounds all normal so far.
I think it's literally like you actually meet up there. Like you load into the game, that's your central area. You group up and go do things from there. That one hub, and go out and do everything. And
then they're doing something. There's no levels, which this scares me a little bit right here. No levels. They say, in our approach to the progression system, we wanted to get away from leveling. What ends up happening is way too many numbers end up being boiled down to one inaccurate number. So basically what they want to do, they're doing prestige, and it allows us to somehow accurately, they're not doing some leveling system. So again, I don't know. I mean, does the leveling system need to be reworked and changed? Do people want it to be changed? I mean, it's something that everybody understands and knows, and I don't know. How do you guys feel about not having a leveling system? What do they mean by prestige? I don't even know what they mean by prestige. Because when I hear prestige, I think Call of Duty and that crap where you get to 50 and you're like, I'm going to go prestige and go up one level. Now I'm going to start over all again with no guns and start over from level 1 just for a little logo. I don't know. I don't know what it means, or it's just a renaming of some sort of level system. They just want to call it something else. And
that would be my first guess, is prestige is going to be your levels. They're just not calling it levels in some shape, form, or fashion. It will have to do with what content you can do and how powerful you are compared to other players. I mean, I mean, there have been games that have tried stuff like this, and most of them end up, incorporating some sort of level system, because if you're going for an MMO crowd, that's what they're used to, and that's what they understand. They can look at that level and be like, this is where I'm at in the game. This is how powerful I am. These are the things I can do, and this number tells me that. I get that some people want to try something different, but at the end of the day, it doesn't usually work out like that. The crowd as a whole usually ends up, I want my level. I want to know. I want to look at this number and know what's going on and where I'm at in this game.
Here's the secret to all MMO players. They'll all tell you that they want something different.
But
they don't want anything different. They just want the same thing over and over. So just give it to them again and again and again.
I don't want levels, but I want a sandbox game. If it's a theme park game, give us levels, I guess. As well.
There you go. All right, Justin JKK, follow him on the Twitter at JKKennedyTV. And you've been live streaming a lot too, so why don't you plug your live stream channel?
It's actually just twitch.tv/JKKennedy without the TV part, because that was before I created that.
And are you streaming tonight at all? What have you been streaming in general?
I've been streaming. Actually, there was a Portal 2 mod that the Valve officially supported, which was pretty cool. I beat that though, and I've been doing a lot of Gauntlet and playing Gauntlet and stuff. That was actually really fun.
How is that? Is it good?
I've beaten it on normal with a group of people. It was actually pretty fun. I'd never played it before. I'd never played Gauntlet, and it was really fun.
Love the original Gauntlet.
And if someone wants to buy me Shadow of Mordor, I'll stream it.
Troy, who is playing Shadows of Mordor or Shadow of Mordor.
I am playing Shadow of Mordor and enjoying it immensely.
Gotta say, man, I was really surprised when I saw all the great reviews for it. I was waiting for 6s and 7s just on my hunch, my gut, and then saw 8s and 9s, and wow, I mean, you're loving it, huh?
Yeah, I was the same thing. I think we talked about this before. I was ready for it to be terrible because I was so excited for it. It was like everything I saw looked so good. I was like, there's no way this game is that good. It's pretty good. It's not the perfect game, but it's some of those those 8s and 9s that the scores that they got deserved. Excellent job, Monolith.
And gotta say, the combat looks incredibly fluid, very Batman-esque.
The combat is spectacular. If you like Batman, the Arkham series, you're gonna like combat in Shadow of Mordor. Absolutely, it's the best sort of. I don't want to say knockoff like it's a cheap version, but as far as games that try to duplicate that sort of combat system, they do it better than anybody else.
Did you buy the DLC so you could finish the story with that big boss?
No, I did not buy the season pass thing. I got the pre-order with the Dark Ranger skin. Thank God, because one of those little nuances that are just really bugging the crap out of me. Talion, the main character, his hair is terrible. It looks terrible again. It's such a bad job on that.
Well, if you're
thank God I pre-ordered and I got the hood that goes with top of it, so I ain't got to look at his crappy hair.
Talking about the combat though for a second, I mean, if you're gonna model your combat after anything, it might as well be the Batman series.
It might as well be the Arkham series. If you're gonna do it, that's the one you want to copy.
All right, follow Troy on.
People compare it to Assassin's Creed. It's so much better than Assassin's Creed. It's better than any Assassin's Creed.
Follow Troy at Noobfridge, NOOBFRIDGE on the Twitter and right here on TWIMMO. We do the show live every single Thursday at 5 o'clock. I should be back in studio next week, hopefully, just a temporary. I got dogs just going crazy behind me, just going nuts. And come over to GameBreaker.tv. Follow me at Gary Gannon. Follow GameBreaker TV at GameBreaker TV. And keep an eye out. And hopefully we'll be launching that new website for you all this week. Have a great week. And we'll see you next week for some more TWIMMO. Have a good weekend.